Welcome to our first episode of Berks County Unsolved. Joining us this week is my cousin Kenny.
Hello.
And Casey and myself.
Hi, bud.
How are you?
Good.
Fresh off of our second season of Chicken Duck. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yes, sir.
Really moving things forward. Really exploding now. So basically, we're going to talk about open cases in the Berks County, Pennsylvania area.
Yes.
We're going to pick a different open case every week, or maybe multiple, to see how once we see how long they take. And we'll probably have guests in and just bullshit like we normally do with our normal stuff, but with a much more serious vibe.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody out there smiling or thinking this is fun or funny. We're not having fun doing this. It's very serious. So,
And as of now, we know that there are over 125 unsolved murders
Jesus
in
Christ.
Berks County.
fucking Debbie Downer.
Growing
I was just
daily.
joking, you know. So yeah, every day's a new day.
Yeah.
Another couple.
Yeah, as
Another
as
day,
the
another
show
body.
goes on, I'm sure that episodes will be added to the list
What list?
of unsolved murders in
Well,
Berks County.
Maybe we'll help solve them in that number. We can drive some of those numbers down.
Okay.
We're starting above 120. Let's work it down.
All right. I'm with you on that.
We're crime stoppers.
Sure.
Okay.
You're going to have to put a little more research in.
Should set up a hotline as well.
I'm pretty comfortable with my current effort. The amount of effort I put into this show every week. I'm very comfortable right where I'm at.
This week one of the show.
Well, I mean in general. So, yeah. So, Kenny, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, man.
Really good,
Thanks
yeah.
for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're our local Gary Redner expert.
Yeah.
So,
Been studying the case for years.
I'm curious. I'm curious to know. We'll get into it a little bit. You gave me
Sure.
a reason why you invited Kenny over here, but we don't want to just drop right into
No.
that. So, you started off, and when you get tired, I'll jump in and.
So this week's episode, our first episode, we'll be talking about the murder of Gary Redner. All right, so we'll get into the history of Redner's Markets. It is a supermarket chain that currently operates 44 warehouse markets and 20 Redner's quick shops around Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. Redner's warehouse has a distribution warehouse located in Maiden Township, Pennsylvania.
Maiden Creek Township.
Maiden Creek Township, Pennsylvania. I apologize.
So that's right next to.
Here.
Yeah.
It's very close to
Very
here.
close to here. It's in Leesport, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually in Maiden Creek Township.
Right, but in Leesport.
Yeah. If you go back and actually listen to, I'll have an episode of this, like it'll be a 0.5, but it'll be like the history of Berks County.
Oh,
So you'll get the background of like all the different townships, how many townships.
you get
how
Charles
it's
J.
all
Adams
broken
to come
down.
in and voice over on that one.
Well, if there were ghosts involved, I could do that, but he's just like a ghost guy, isn't he?
Oh, I think he's
Is he a voiceover guy?
I think he's just a general guy. I mean, he does a lot of different stuff in the medias.
Okay. We could, I'm sure, have him on sometime.
I'm sure he's got nothing better to do than to come.
Well, he's
in.
retired now.
From how do you retire yourself from doing
nothing.
for just writing books and
Well, he's not
talking and-
writing anymore.
Okay,
Wait, who's this guy?
Charles J. Adams,
He
the third.
writes all the wrote because he's retired now. All the ghost stories and stuff in Berks County, around Berks County.
Such as
On
the
the beach,
a known one?
like the ghost stories of Berks County books. You've never read any of them?
I've never seen one. Really? No. When were they published?
90s.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense then.
I remember like every summer though at the beach, like you go in any of the bookstores in Stone Harbor, there was he had a whole section, like shipwrecks, all that.
So he wrote outside of Berks County. He
Like-
wasn't. He wasn't.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Avalon is outside of Berks County, so yeah.
I apologize. I always thought that he was just a strict Berks County writer. So we want to get back on the Redner's train here.
Sure.
Redner's. It was founded in 1970 by Mary and Earl Redner. They opened 2 markets in Reading, Pennsylvania, and after a steady success from the start, they expanded their operations to other areas. 5 years after opening, Redner's formed an employee stock ownership plan, making them the first supermarket in Pennsylvania to be employee-owned. They have an annual revenue of over $800 million and over 4,000 employees.
The Redners had 3 kids, Gary, Richard, and
Sherry, I think.
Sherry? Casey thinks Sherry.
I think it's Sherry.
Born on December 31st, 1952, in Queens, New York, Gary Redner began his career as a meat cutter, later becoming meat manager at the company's second store in Red Hill, PA, and later various stores within the company. So I share a birthday with Gary Redner. I did not know that.
You did.
No, yeah, you did share
You
it.
did share a birthday.
Well, yeah, I still do. He was born on the same day as me.
Sure.
Different year. So in 1980, he was charged with management of Redner's first distribution center here in Reading, and began training as a meat and produce buyer. Within a short time, he became the sole purchasing agent for the meat and produce, and in 1990, he was named executive vice president and served as secretary for Redner's board of directors. He was executive vice president of procurement for Redner's Warehouse Markets, Inc. for 36 years. Gary married Deborah Kerr, later divorcing, and had 2 children of his own, a son, Gary M., and a daughter, Casey. Gary lived alone.
Gary loved playing the drums, beginning to play at the age of 10. I found something that he said he actually played backup drummer for Bruce Springsteen. After taking some time off, he played in the Philly area for the past 2 years of his life. Redner was an outgoing, regular guy who was mostly well-liked in the supermarket chain. Part of Gary's personality was a sense of humor. He liked to joke around, although one investigator said that it wasn't something that he was appreciated by everyone.
On the morning of March 9th, 2008, 55-year-old Gary Redner was found beaten to death on a neighbor's property located in the 400 block of Reber's Bridge Road, Lower Heidelberg Township, Berks County. Gary was last seen leaving Ganley's Pub, a well-known hangout of his, on March 8th at approximately 7 p.m. Ganley's Pub is a quarter-mile west of Gary's home. Gary's vehicle was found parked in his driveway. It is apparent that he never made it into his home on the evening of March 8th, 2008.
So here's what we know. It was a very stormy evening with winds so strong that people in the area were losing power. Redner left the bar alone, and hours later he was dead. It only takes about 25 seconds to drive from Ganley's to the Redner house. He was found lying in a neighbor's driveway. His fingerprints were found on the garage door. Police say Redner died of blunt force trauma to the head. A tremendous amount of forensic work has been done, and evidence shows Redner did not die immediately but succumbed to his injuries hours later. Investigators and state police say they have binders stacked with nearly 1,200 pages detailing the investigation. Search warrants and autopsy reports remain sealed. According to investigators, they have worked with 3 different forensic pathologists, and the investigation has led them to several states. PA, New Jersey, North Carolina, Maryland, each and every place they go, they've hit dead ends. As far as we know, nothing was stolen from the car or from the home. It's been over 11 years since Gary was killed, and a standing reward that eventually grew to $125,000 has failed to produce a credible witness. Police do not believe it was a random crime, and he most likely knew his killer. Investigators say they will still need more information and believe someone out there knows something. Even the smallest tip could help, and they want people to come forward to help close the case.
In the meantime, anyone with information that can help investigators crack this case is urged to call Crime Alert Berks County at 877-373-9913.
All right, that was cool.
So that's
all we know.
That's what we know. So there's a lot of theories out there.
So here's a couple things that Ganley's is like just a little Irish bar. It's nothing crazy. It's in a nice, quiet neighborhood.
Right.
He lived in an affluent neighborhood, like a beautiful, expensive home in a nice neighborhood, quiet. So it's not like
on like it's like the main road there.
I was going to say, have you guys been to the house?
No, I mean, I've been past it 1,000 times,
Right.
but
you can see it.
So you can see everything that would happen in the front yard?
No.
No.
you couldn't? You drive right Isn't it right there on that main road from Ganley's? It's only 20. If it's only 25 seconds away from Ganley's, I don't. It has to be on that main road.
Let's go there.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna check it out after this.
Let's pause it. Let's pause the show and we'll drive there and we'll start recording again.
Okay. Pause the show.
Get
Bring
in front of the green screen.
Bring it up on Google Maps.
All
It's
right.
the 400 block of Reber's Bridge Road. That's that main road right there by Ganley's. Did you bring Ganley's up? Why not just bring Ganley's up?
Should I bring Ganley's up here? We'll go to Ganley's. What'd you say it was 400
So it's on the 400 block of Reber's Bridge Road. So it's right there. So it has to be. So that's 467 Reber's. So it has to be right there. That's the main road of Reber's Bridge Road. So they said it was a 25-second drive. So it's one of those three
Look at those
houses.
houses
right there.
though. Look at that one.
There are trees and stuff in front of each one of those houses. So I mean, if something did happen and someone was driving by, I mean, you would still think that you'd be able to see. I mean, there's bushes. They're not trees.
The driveways are actually further apart than I imagined they would be. It's not like he stumbled somewhere. Like he
Right,
went
right,
to the
right.
neighbor's house. Oh, I've been up there. That house is sweet.
Yeah, it's right over by Nanny's.
Yeah.
Near
okay.
Nanny's. So the only, if someone, I don't know, the only house that has trees in front of it is the first one there. That's down in there in the
Is that the one he lived in though? Like that one's tree covered too.
right.
Especially the driveway. It's offset.
Well, let's be honest, though. Do you think Gary Redner lived in this house, or do you think he lived in one of these two houses?
Right,
here?
exactly.
I think those three are all nice.
Well,
Well, he certainly didn't live
can't
in the
even
one to the
fucking
left.
see that. Why?
No, it's not where he was.
Look at that.
Overlooking Blue Marsh.
Yeah, it's tiny though compared to the other two.
He lived alone though.
It's just him.
Did he move after he got divorced?
That's what we don't know. I couldn't. It
That
was really
house
hard to find a
Might
lot of
look
information.
small, but it is not small.
It's because it's
It's like a modern style.
right. So if that was his house, I mean, it would have been completely covered by. No one would have been able to see anything. If it was one of the other two, the nicer ones with the pool, and I mean those driveways are completely open. If someone, it would have had to been a quick attack for. I mean, that's a pretty busy road.
I think he either mouthed off to the wrong person or was showing off to the wrong person that followed him home, mugged him, took whatever, left him there.
Nothing was stolen.
Nothing was stolen.
There was no break into the house, no car, nothing from the car was stolen. Nothing from him was he still had his wallet and everything.
I got a theory after seeing this though. He purposely went to the neighbor's house because he thought he was being tailed and wanted them to think he lived in that place. Because you don't accidentally go in the wrong driveway there.
True.
And like they said, he tried to get into the garage.
Yeah, but his car was found at his house.
Right.
Oh, his car was at his house.
Yeah. He walked or he crawled or walked or whatever to the neighbor's house to try and get in, try and get help. It can't be the other way because Reber's Bridge Road doesn't go the other way. It's only that way.
Maybe it was Bigfoot.
It could have been. I mean, if we get Morgani on here, there could be. We could find out if
The angel,
Squatch was ever over there.
or angels came down and struck him down or something.
Were there signs that he crawled there, or did he walk over?
No, I'm not
No
sure.
information.
I'm not sure about that. It said that
Casey's
it's
got limited information.
Yeah,
as
well, it
far
said
as the
everything was
crime
sealed.
scene.
yeah, everything's sealed, and they found fingerprints bloody fingerprints and such on the driveway, or not on the driveway, but on the garage door
Oh, okay.
at the neighbor's house. So
Well, I read everything. It said he was thoroughly beaten, fingers broken, ankles broken.
What?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Holy shit!
That's
That's
what-
personal.
that's what makes it the organized crime, and I think the gambling aspect of it.
So let's talk about the gambling aspect of it.
Well, that was all just market talk, but it was. I just heard he got killed for gambling debts.
You got to owe a lot of money to get beat up.
I mean, he has a big franchise that he can take money from.
Well, you're worth more though
alive then. Yeah.
Like gambling debt.
Oh, you're saying they could have extorted more money out of him.
course,
Right,
He's
yeah.
Still, he still owned the
Usually-
company. Like
What if he was going to rat on people?
Then they would have killed him.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is
Broke his
what
ankles
happened.
and his
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah, usually with a gambling debt or a debt of any sort, they don't kill someone because they're never going to get their money back.
Right.
Yeah, very
Their
true.
family, their
Until they
their
know it's a
pets,
lost
that kind of
cause.
shit. Right. But once they kill the person that they're extorting, they
They
can't get their
nothing
money.
back.
But like you said, if he was going to hand some information over because of he owed that money, I mean, then sure they.
But it could,
That would have been probably the first thing they would have thought to do.
and they thought it could have been someone's husband, but like he would have just strangled him or beat him to death with punches. He wouldn't have just smashed his ankles and broke his fingers.
Right.
Right. I got it.
Yeah, I heard.
Honest.
I had
That's-
heard he was quite a coxman. That he
A Lothario, I read.
he liked the ladies.
Coxman.
I went deep into the Reddit hole on this too. A couple theories where it could have just been a hit and run. Like
I don't
someone
like
hit-
that one.
I don't like that one either because of the everything being broken. Like
Yeah.
the
I hit
fingers
like
and-
with a vehicle.
Yeah.
They just hit him and incidentally broke his fingers and his ankles.
right.
Unless it was the neighbor who hit him and drug him to their driveway.
And then broke. I didn't know the ankles bit.
That's just
Everything was broken.
that's from someone on Reddit though too. That someone knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, that knows a cop.
Yeah. So we don't know that for sure, but
But I feel like with the reward money, that his family thought it was a murder and not an accident
Right.
or a hit and run. Like
Sure.
it wasn't just a reward for someone who accidentally hit him with a car. They wanted to know who killed him.
right. And the
17 hours ago.
the reward actually started at like $10,000.
Oh, really?
When it was original, yeah, and now it's up to I think it's leveled off at 125,000 now for the past few years. But yeah, it's been over 11 years, and no one's coming forward with any information. So I mean, I also read that it wasn't just one person that did it; that it could have been like a few people.
Again, and then
Like if it like you're saying, Kenny, if it was a mob hit or
yeah,
something,
then it wouldn't have been just
But-
one person.
how does that happen at it had to be a little after 7:00 on that night. It would have been dark, but how do you get a beating like that done in front of someone's house
You don't. You can,
without anyone seeing?
did it
anything?
happen?
He
It
could have
did it somewhere else and just thrown
dumped
him out.
him, yeah.
They might not even have known it was the right fucking house.
But then how does fingerprints get on the garage door? Did they take his broken fingers to the door and
Did
take
So
him in?
here, maybe he walked over to his house, or he got to his house. He tried to get into his garage door. They got him while he was trying to get into his garage door. They threw him in a fucking van, beat the living shit out of him, killed him, and then dumped him into his neighbor's yard.
No, his fingerprints were on the neighbor's garage door.
Yeah.
So they dumped him, threw him at the wrong house. He could have thought it was his and tried to get in. Oh no. I don't know how that works out.
Brutal.
Well, that's true though. They could have dumped him at the wrong house if something like that did happen.
Fucking wrap it up then. We figured it out.
Well, we didn't. Still doesn't say who did it.
Oh, that solved it. We figured it out.
I do like there's a Redner's Quick Shop right down the road.
I love it.
Redner's Quick Shops are great.
Oh yeah, the best fried chicken is at Redner's regular place. I'm a
What do they
big
call it?
They have them at the Quick Shop.
fried chicken.
No, don't they all have like their goofy? What? They're like goofy, like store name brand for their chicken.
Oh,
It's
fried.
like Uncle Chester's or something. No, it is.
I'd never heard that.
Look it up. Google it.
I heard of Chester Fried Chicken.
Chester
Remember
Fried. Yeah, that's
downtown?
one.
Chester Fried. That was downtown. They
Redner's.
had
The Redner's.
That might be in Boyers.
Redner's at Redner's, like at the grocery store, behind the deli counter.
I understand they make fried chicken.
They don't call it anything because they just take chicken
Uh,
and they fry it and they put it in a bag. So I guess you would call it Redner's fried chicken. Fucking Uncle Cracker.
Yeah,
whatever
I mean
the
that's
fuck
all
you're
it's
calling
called
it.
is Redner's Fried Chicken.
Right.
I'm googling it right now. Online ordering.
I don't know that Googling
Fried
it was
chicken.
necessary. I've eaten enough of it this weekend to know that was factual. So, consider this one solved then, right?
I wouldn't say it's solved. No, Jim.
did you do a timeline? Was that in the thing? The part you read?
What do you mean timeline?
A timeline of like the events of the night, like what time he showed up at Ganley's versus leaving
I don't know when he got there, but he left at 7
alone.
alone. But I mean, they interviewed everyone at the bar that was there that night, and no one. I mean, I don't think they got any information. So if someone did follow him home from the bar, they're obviously not talking.
When was he found?
The next morning.
Did it say by who?
The neighbor in
What's
the
the neighbor?
in the yard. Yeah, his neighbor came out like to get the paper or something in the morning, and
So a guy's dead in your front yard for 12 hours. You don't know.
overnight on a stormy night.
I look out my window like a fucking crackhead sometimes on a stormy night. I'm gonna sit up there with the doors open, hoping it starts to rain again.
Did anyone think maybe it was just the wind? Just blew him right over, tore him up.
Broke his ankle.
Yeah,
he just broke.
were there any downed branches in the area?
Why was he climbing trees? That was my question. What if he was sucked up into a tornado and thrown right down the road?
One house. No other damage.
Straight up, straight down.
No other damage to the houses or anything.
Nope.
That's your theory, a tornado.
Tornado.
A small one.
Or either the mob or a tornado. John Goslin of the Goslin family.
What else do you know about this?
Nothing.
You're hiding information from me.
I don't know anything about it.
Seems like you were there that night.
You know a lot about this community and the people, and you're a big deal in this community. And I think you're withholding information.
I'm certainly no Chad Billingsley, a Philadelphia Philly. No, I don't know anything. I know that he worked for the company forever. He was well liked in the community, and he's dead.
You've never heard of anything? You know, like
Uh-uh.
Dave didn't know him or anything from being in the business,
No.
big business around Reading.
None that I've ever talked to. Not in the same circles.
But you said up at where you worked at the market, there were talks of
Yeah. Well, I mean, markets are a good place for organized crime. It's so easy to hide money.
So Luigi's big into. Maybe it was Lou.
Meatballs and laundering.
Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad.
Okay.
I don't have.
I don't have a fucking answer to who killed
I
Gary
don't have
Redner.
any-
If you're going to be upset with me at the end of every show because I haven't solved the murder, we're going to have a hell of a time with this.
But you
fucking
said you were going to bring the
podcast.
rates down, the unsolved
Well,
cases.
We're getting it out there.
You have a good theory of the tornado, I guess.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like.
Oh no, that they picked him up and dumped him in the wrong like he wasn't beaten at the house. They
Right.
took him somewhere. Was that yours or I think it was Kenny's idea.
No, it was mine. It was
No,
definitely
it
mine.
definitely wasn't Jimmy's. No.
So I guess that's it.
All right. Join us next week when we solve the. What's next week?
I haven't come up with it yet.
Amelia Earnhardt. Gary Redner.
A million Earhart. Was she from Berks County?
She flew over it.
She flew. Her name was Amelia.
Earhart, not Earnhardt, like a NASCAR driver. The number 3 plane.
Amelia.
We could solve the.
She flew the spruce goose into the park.
I was gonna say we
into the
could.
cornfield across the street.
It wasn't called the Spruce Goose. It
No,
was
the Howard Hughes' plane.
yeah
She flew that right into the. She was the one that
into the
crashed.
field. We could try and solve that mystery at one point.
What's the mystery of it?
There wasn't a mystery.
There was one of Howard Hughes' planes crashed in the field over here in Muhlenberg, but Jimmy says it was in Bern Township.
Oh, really?
But I know
It was
someone.
actually right next to her sister's house.
Oh,
I know someone that saw the plane on fire that day in the air
Is that person alive?
and says that it landed in Muhlenberg.
Is that person alive?
Not anymore.
Well, then you don't know that person anymore.
Yeah. What year did you hear that information?
That was around 2006.
Just after Gary Redner went
Yeah.
missing.
Was it Gary Redner?
He died in 2008.
Yeah, but he had 2 years to give information on that plane before they took him out.
Who died in 2008?
Amelia Earnhardt.
Gary Redner.
Whatever happened to Gary?
All right, so I guess that's the end of this show. Follow us at everywhere at Berks Unsolved. I think we're on Twitter at Berks Unsolved.